Well, it is almost Christmas, which means that it is now 9 years since I unwrapped the most amazing Christmas present ever. So get myself dressed, and then I'm going to tell you all about it. Hey folks, it's Finn. Welcome back, lovely people. Lovely to see you again. And if you're seeing me for the very first time, because you're tuning in for the very first time, then welcome. It's lovely to see you too. Thank you for choosing one of my videos. Strap in, it'll probably be a waffle. It might go on for a while. Get comfy. So today, as you can see, it's going to be a celebratory vlog, because it was a bit of a rant last week, wasn't it? I'm glad you enjoyed seeing me and the fur together for our 45-minute car steamy waffle. That was so funny. Really enjoyed making that. So yes, it is December, and this month, well actually November, marks 9 years since I had my top surgery. But it is this month, on the 9th of December, that I first saw it in all its glory, which is today. It's actually the 9th of December today. So it marks 9 years today since I unwrapped the best Christmas present ever. I mean, I don't think there's ever any way you can ever top that Christmas present, to have your chest revealed.
So things look fine?
That's amazing. Oh my god,
Right.
that's my chest. That is, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
God. Oh my god. Thank you.
No, it's all right. I'm, like I say, I'm sorry you got bruised, but other than that,
That looks
it's
absolutely
fine.
amazing.
The proper chest that I should have been given at puberty, rather than the one that ended up developing, you know. That is the best Christmas present I've ever unwrapped, and one that I get to unwrap every day. So I wanted to share that 9 years of joy with you today. And shall we do what's become the yearly mandatory cheeky selfie, self-love, body love moment? Yeah. It's what it's all about, isn't it? Loving our bodies. Oh yes. And so, as you can see, at 9 years post top surgery, there really isn't much to say now, changing year to year. And I say that every year because there isn't much difference now. I guess what is the main difference now, and I'm sure I said this last year, is that I don't really think of it anymore as a top surgery chest. The more years that go by, the less I think about it like that. It's just my chest. You know, I don't think about it as in it was a chest that had breasts before. You know, I don't really even think about the scars. Me doing it like this, like, what's that? What does that mean? What's that, Finn? I don't know. You know, I don't think about it. I mean, I know I have scars, but I'm not even that bothered about them. Whether that's because I've had to do a lot of work because I have self-harm scars, and scars are just something that, you know, I've had to learn to accommodate, accept about myself anyway, but I just don't, I'm not bothered about them, you know. I will happily go shirtless. Maybe it's just because of the pure joy of being able to go shirtless overrides any worry about scars. I don't know, but it's just my chest now, and that simple just, it's just such a bad word because it doesn't even come close to describing the simpleness of it being just a chest. And that is just beautiful, you know. So I think that is what has really dramatically changed, that it is no longer a top surgery result. It's just my chest. A bit like I was talking about with my penis. It's become just my penis, and this is just my chest. I think this is it now. At this stage in my gender transition, you know, being 9 years post top surgery and whatever I am, lower surgery, because my brain's just had a fart. 5 years, you know, everything is just mine. It's no longer a surgery result, it's just mine, you know, and that's the most beautiful thing. And aging is something I'm talking about a lot because, you know, I'm aging. I'm 48. Just double checking that in my head. Yep. So we're coming up to 2023, so I'm coming up to 49. Oh my actual goodness. So, you know, aging is something I think is really important to talk about as a trans person, because this is something we don't talk about a lot. You know, how do we age? How do scars age? How do surgery results age? This is something that I think is really, really important to talk about and to think about. And I'm really impressed on two levels with the way that my results have aged. The way my scars have aged is really impressive. I mean, I really do look after my skin anyway. This is something I've always done. But, you know, I moisturise. I very much make sure that, you know, my skin doesn't dry out, and I think that does help. So my scars are in very good condition still, and I think that helps. But they're aging really well. That they've not kind of changed in any distinct way. They're still lightening, I think. So that's good to see. And I know, because I've had this commented on with lots of cisgender guys my age who will say that my chest is better than theirs, because of course gravity hasn't taken effect as much as other chaps have who are my age. I mean, chaps that go to the gym, you know, their chests are better than mine because they work at it. But chaps who are like me, that are not gym buddies, that just sit at home and watch Netflix and, you know, just don't go to the gym, you know, gravity takes effect. So because of that, my chest that isn't exercised generally looks better than a cisgendered chap of my age. We have that in our favour as trans guys, because it's a chest that's been created relatively a few years ago. Is this making sense? Do you know what I mean? So, you know, in terms of aging, we're quite lucky in that way, I suppose. So that's to be said. One thing I haven't said, actually, by the way, was when my top surgery was done. Have I said that? Yes, I have. I'm going to just lean over and get my notes. So I did say, didn't I, the 27th of November, 2013. 2013. Welcome to anyone new. This is my new style of video. I keep reminding people that I am just raw on here, right? I am a public speaker. Would you believe I am a public speaker? But on my personal channel, I don't script. I just talk. And because I've got MECFS, I often go off on these little, like, where I just completely don't make any sense. So what I should have said is I had top surgery, double incision, with Mr Andrew Yelland on the 27th of November 2013, when Mr Andrew Yelland was based in Brighton. He's now based in Torquay in Devon. Thank you. And now I've forgotten what I actually was saying. So yes, most difference is I've aged, but they've aged well, scar-wise, and how my chest looks. And one thing I will say, I think what helps, this is what I was getting to, what helps about how my particular chest has aged, and what I see very differently the way Andrew Yelland does things, is he does leave some breast tissue in. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, people in the comments below, because I know top surgery has changed a lot since I had it. And I think lots of new surgeons are coming along and doing things as well. But Andrew Yelland leaves more breast tissue in because he sculpts the way a chest looks more. He doesn't go for just completely flat chest, which I think is so incredibly important. Because unless you are very young and very skinny, men don't tend to have flat chests. There's always some kind of shape there. And this is really important, and I'm so glad he created my chest that way, because I was, how old was I when I had dry chest surgery? I was 39. But at 39 I had a bit of a belly, Not like now, not like balance my drink on now, like I have now, but still, it would have looked really wrong had he created a really flat chest and then a belly. So he created it with leaving some of the tissue behind, so that I have this kind of pec look. And I think, I mean, that has aged really well. So even though I've put on weight, and you can see that there is some kind of slight overhang of the scars as I've put on weight, it's in proportion still. And I think that looks really good. So I'm really happy with the way the results have aged over time. Really, really happy. I love my chest. I think what I want to talk about today, really, in terms of the aging, is the journey. Now, I know loads of people cringe when you talk about the journey, but I'm a real subscriber to the idea of the journey we go through, because we do all go through a journey in various aspects of our lives when we do things. And I've definitely gone through a journey with my chest. And it's a beautiful journey to have gone through and to look back on. Now, I'm working with a therapist at them. I thought I saw a cat then, but it's not. It's my fluffy sheep hanging. Anyway, sorry, distracted. I've definitely gone through a beautiful journey with my surgery, and I'm working with a therapist at the moment, not about my surgery, about ME/CFS, but I think it's making me reflect on a lot of stuff. And I'm doing a lot of work around kind of grieving, letting go, and, you know, all of this at the moment. And I've gone through the grieving process with my top surgery, with my chest in specificness in particular. And if I look back to before I was trans, how I felt about my chest, I was so ashamed of my chest and how I felt about my chest, because I didn't know I was trans, right? Because you've got to remember that when I was growing up, lots of you have probably heard my story if you've seen my How I Knew I Was Trans video. And if you're a member of the Friends of Finn Club, you'll have seen lots of my practice talks and you'll have heard this in depth. But I was born in 1974, I grew up in the 80s, so I had no idea about trans people. So I didn't know I was trans, but I did know something was wrong or something was different or whatever you want to describe it as. And how that really happened was through puberty, and how when my breasts grew, and just like this utter disgust with my body, and there's like this wrongness. And, you know, I was so ashamed of the feelings I was having of, like, I remember wanting to have cancer and feeling so disgusted and ashamed and guilty for that feeling that I was so desperate to have cancer so that they would cut them off, you know. And I remember just feeling so mortified that I would have that awful feeling and carrying that shame and guilt for years. And then fast forward to 2011, when I finally realised I'm trans, and then realising why I wanted my breasts gone and why I wanted cancer, you know, and like the utter distress then, and the kind of beginning of self-forgiveness of realising why I'd wish such a thing on myself was because I was a man that had grown breasts, and of course I was so desperate to have them gone. But in that moment of kind of realising, oh, I'm trans, I'm male, this is why I had so much kind of feeling of alienation against my body and hate towards my breasts. There was initial and kind of forgiveness and an acceptance of my own hate of my body, but then there was this kind of escalation of pain, right? That at first I couldn't understand. I was like, how have I for years managed to squash this pain down, but now that I know the word dysphoria, why am I suddenly so dysphoric? And it was one of the things in the beginning that was making me worry that I was making it all up in my head, because I was like, how can I suddenly not have huge dysphoria and suddenly have loads of dysphoria? And I realised that the reason why was because once I realised that I was a bloke and that I didn't have to have these breasts because there was a surgery to remove them, I wanted them gone. You know, it's like if you're stuck in a room and you don't know there's a door, then you're just stuck in a room. But if you're stuck in a room and you know that behind some wallpaper there's a door, you're going to scratch at that wallpaper. And that's what it was like. It was like once I realised there was a surgery that could remove them, the desperation was there. And, you know, then to finally have top surgery, the relief came again. But then, like, the utter grief at all the years lost to, like, pain of hating my body and jealousy at seeing all of the youngsters. Here was I at 39, finally having the chest I should have always had. But like this utter jealousy at seeing youngsters, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, running around the park with their chests that they'd always had. And I felt, I mean, I made videos about this, if you remember, about being so really quite painfully jealous and bitter towards seeing people like that. I've had these really strong reactions of anger that I hated feeling, you know, and it took a long time, and I had quite a lot of depression after my surgery, which freaked me out because I thought I should be happy. Why am I not happy? But it was like all of that repressed feeling for years of squashing these feelings down suddenly came out. And then, you know, it was then kind of moving to a new phase of kind of like, okay, I've got to let go of all of that and now start to embrace and love my body. And that's how it's been then over the years since. I've been like making peace with my body and coming to terms with all the years that I've lost and learning to embrace my body, learning to let go of all of the years that have gone on and move into this new love for myself that's been utterly and totally incredible. And it really has been such an incredible journey to now look back on and to think where I am with my body now. And I laugh, right, when I go on about like being this like tubby kind of chunky monkey now. What was it that, do you remember a couple of years ago, me and Chris went on holiday to Fuerteventura and they had me up on holiday, had me up on stage, and I had to do the YMCA.
I'll tell you something, I love that.
And it was the first time I'd been like really publicly with my top off and I had the spotlight on me, and it was just like this glorious moment of like not caring, because I've been putting on weight since I became ill, first with hypothyroidism and then with like this ME. Just my body's been putting on weight and I didn't know why. It's because I was chronically ill and my body's just storing weight. And at first I was really self-conscious of it, but I've just been able to let go of it over the years, and just to get up there with the scars on my chest, my body aging, my body kind of like changing shape, and just saying, you know what, I don't care. I just love my body as it is. It was such a beautiful feeling. And that is exactly what it is. Because so often when those that are kind of opposing trans people get on their kind of high horse about us, they go on about like, oh, well, we all hate our bodies, or we all don't like certain things, you know, we don't want to, you know, and you're jumping on and just change it. You need to learn to love your body. This is far deeper than that. It's not about just, oh, I don't like this, I'm going to change it. It's not about that at all. It goes far deeper than that. I'm a man. Men don't have breasts, you know. It's not about that, because I'm fat. Let's just call a spade, right? I'm fat and I don't care. It's the breasts that were the problem. I used to starve myself skinny to look male. Now, you know, the fact that I've just got to this point in my life and thought, you know what? It really doesn't matter. I just love my body. Even if it's loose, baggy in areas, it's got scars. It's mine. It's male. It reflects me. This isn't and never was about not liking the way certain areas look or wanting to tweak them or having this perfect Instagrammable body. It was about having a body that's mine, that reflects me, that I can feel at peace in. You know, that's what it's about. It was never about having a perfect body. And I think that's what people get so wrong about what they think we're doing as trans people, you know? They get it so, so badly wrong. And it's not like we can just like accept having breasts, because there is so much pain involved that you can't breathe. You cannot be yourself and go about your daily life if you're in that much pain. If I could have accepted my breasts, I would have done, trust me, you know. But how can you go about your life and be you if there's an aspect of you that just gets in the way of your daily life that much? I couldn't hug anybody. I couldn't get dressed. I couldn't get undressed. I couldn't get in the bath. I couldn't go shopping and try on clothes. I couldn't go on holiday. I couldn't stay at a friend's house. It impacts on every single bit of your life. Now that those alien suet dumplings have gone, I'm free. But it's not free in the fact that I can take my clothes off and look like Adonis. I'm free in that I can just live my life and be me without that pain involved. I'm still fat and I've got scars. It's not taking away that. It's just given me the freedom to breathe, the freedom from pain, so that I can be me, fully me, and free from pain. It wasn't about changing the fundamentalness of who I am. It was about removing pain so I could be fully me, you know? And that's what this journey has been. It's been about changing that aspect of me so that I can remove the pain through this journey to be fully me. That's what it's about. That was a waffle, wasn't it? Got a bit emotional then, didn't I? But yeah, I think that's what I'm reflecting on a lot at the moment, is just like this whole entire journey. You know, it's bizarre. I think a lot of the time when we go through something that is so intense, it becomes so normal that our journey is this intense that we just think, oh, I don't know why I'm so exhausted, or why, you know, why life's so hard, really. Why is life so hard? It's not that bad. And then you look back and you think, wow, I've been through a lot. Do you know what I mean? Because you do just normalize something for yourself, don't you, if you're in it. But then when you stop and you just look back and you go, oh my goodness me, what a journey, you know. Wow, it's incredible. It really is. Honestly, this is why, you know, I think just no matter what goes, I know I say this a lot, but I really do mean it. Whatever goes on in my life, I've only got to take my top off and everything's all right. Because it really is like that. Because, you know, on days where Fred, my good old Emmy, kicks my ass, excuse me, I've only got to take my top off and go, oh yeah, I'm free. And then actually, my Emmy isn't that bad. Do you know what I mean? It's all right. Oh dear. So yeah, that's this week's update. Before I sign off, I have my usual welcomes and bits and bobs. So this week I have just one welcome to the Friends of Finn Club. It's actually a welcome back to Thomas Donald Jacobs. It's lovely to see you back. As always, I always like to remind people even that when you become a member of the Friends of Finn, it's always fine to kind of go and come back again. You know, you're never kind of locked in, and you're never kind of hated if you disappear and come back. You know, it's never that. It's never a problem. I understand cost of living crisis is absolutely fine. So people join membership and then leave and come back, it's fine. You've also got options to just do kind of like one-off donations and just check supporters content every now and again. There's always that option. I'll put a link up to membership options. I always forget which side, so that you know you have different price options and sign-in options available to you. But welcome back, Thomas. It's lovely to see you. I hope you're doing okay. Do pop into Discord and say hello if you like. It'll be lovely to catch up with you. And I also have a shout out. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I put a picture of my chest on Instagram to say it is my 9-year chestiversary. I got loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of comments. It's really lovely. Thank you very much, everyone, for celebrating my peckiversary with me. And I want to give a big shout out to Adam, who has just had his top surgery with Mr Andrew Yelland, and he messaged me. It's just lovely. I love it when people message me to tell me they've just had their top surgery, especially because at the moment so many people are waiting such a long time for their surgery. And so when I get really happy messages that people have waited such a long time and they've had it and they share their joy with me, it just makes my day. So congratulations, Adam. Make sure you rest when you get home, because I know what it's like. You get home and you do too much to rest. And also to Kit, who's also the same age as me, 48, and they've just had theirs, so congratulations to you as well. To everyone who is frustrated and waiting for their top surgery date and it feels like forever, I hear you and I feel you. It's just cruel and evil, this system we have at the moment with trans healthcare, and I know it's a worldwide problem. My heart goes out to you. It will happen. Just hang in there. Things are improving. If you look back years ago where we were, we are getting there. I know it's just a really slow, frustrating process. Make sure to get yourself some support. I will put some link in the comments below, because you need to hang in. You need to connect with others and just be reminded that you will get there eventually. I promise. Sending you loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of love. Have a great weekend if I get this uploaded by Monday. If not, have a great week and I'll see you soon. Loved you all. Bye bye.
First of all, we have Bob the Builder.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
No, it's not RuPaul's Drag Race, darling.
Talking boy.